people on stage to know exactly where you are and ask them the question. Thank you, sir.
So this is Balachandra from Hindu Business Lab. A couple of FAQs. First one is, will it cover both radiology and pathology services, including advanced radiology and all services? Second, will it cater only to the Appallo group's requirements, or we also take services from, serving the other hospitals' requirements?
Thank you. That's a very good question, because diagnostic does imply all modalities. What we're inaugurating today is a central reference laboratory. So this handles all these 7 disciplines of pathology. That is the blood and lab diagnostics. But I must say that across the Apollo Hospitals enterprise, we have the latest machines in radiology. So whether it's the CT scans with the calcium scoring, rapid arc CT scans, we also have the 3 Tesla MRIs, PET CT, so multiple modalities and always the latest. Proton is of course one of the therapeutic aspects, which is also the first time come to Asia. So across the Apollo enterprise, this is a commitment, and very shortly we will also be including the ability to book radiology tests on 24/7. So that is something which will be coming soon. You can also look at special timings, you'll get various range of things, so that a credible diagnostic with a science-backed report across laboratory and radiology is the entire Apollo offering. Today's central reference lab is primarily the laboratory service.
Okay, and what about the services outside the group?
Okay, so that's another great one. We have already been serving in the Apollo Diagnostic multiple customers outside of the Apollo group. So these are done in 4 tiers. We have partnerships with, of course, non-Apollo customers who come through 24/7, who come through the website or the call center, who call our phlebotomists who come home. We have tie-ups with doctors in doctors' offices. These are pick-up points. We run the laboratory in small hospitals and nursing homes, especially those outside of large cities. And finally, we also have tie-ups with research laboratories, because we're now working on many new areas. So whether it's a new biomarker, here the scientific knowledge of our doctors combined with diagnostics and large data analytics and AI will pave the way for new areas. So we are working with the whole ecosystem. Of course, we support the whole ecosystem.
Just one question, ma'am. And for these technologies, did you have any tie-up with an IT player, or all indigenously developed? What was the work relating to the?
So it's a combination. So again, very good question. IT is a very powerful thing. From the customer-facing app, etc. This is an in-house, homegrown app, which is Apollo 24/7. At the diagnostic and interpretation level, the hospital has MedMantra. The diagnostic team, where we're combining over 117 different laboratories. They are on a partner system called ITDOS. All of these are connected in these labs through a middleware. So the machine can interpret the value, read the sample irrespective of where it's coming, assign the coding number, and then redistribute into that appropriate hospital information system or lab information system. So it's a fairly complex middleware also.
Thank you.
What about the existing diagnostics for the individual hospitals, madam? It will be merged or something like that, madam?
So we are this is the first one that we have done. We're talking about it. I think the hospital will always own its diagnostics. Apollo Diagnostics will be a partnership model, and we are working on which is most appropriate, keeping only one thought in mind: what's good for the patient. Once we take care of the patient interest, we'll figure out the back end of working together, because we are one Apollo.
Thank you.
Hi, Serena from the Hindu. I have 2 questions. One is, currently what is the average turnaround time of samples, and how much of a reduction are you looking at? And secondly, could you expand a little bit about clinical genomics, because you mentioned about screening for inherited diseases?
So on TAP turnaround logistics, I'm going to refer to Mr. Sriram, our CEO.
So in this facility, as if you haven't had a look, you should go down. We have a track in which whether sample for biochemistry, immunology, or even hematology, or even HbA1c, it is all automated in the track. So we are at least a processing time of at least 60 minutes will be faster in this, and we are pulling the samples from all the hospitals in Chennai and all the Appallo diagnostic centers in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and of course this lab is not going to service only Chennai and Tamil Nadu, India and the world. So in terms of tag, I think as soon as it hits the machine, I think it will be very rapid, fast, and we at least see a 60-minute reduction when the report goes out from the current stream.
On clinical genomics, I must say that we are working with other partners, but we're on the pathway to give one of the most comprehensive genomic testing. So one is comprehensive carrier screening, then cutting edge sequencing. So this is a big one that will be coming soon. We're doing complete genome sequencing. We also have comprehensive panels for cancer. And this is a big and important area for us because, like I said earlier, Chairman's emphasis on early detection is also critical. I'm going to request our Vice Chairperson, Mrs. Reddy, to add to this.
In the clinical genomics space, oncogenomics has become extremely important globally, and early detection can, show you the onset of multiple cancer areas, diseases, especially, you can even pick up the brain tumors, lung cancer, breast cancer, if you can, check, do your genomics, and that's why it's very important for us. And just now, I landed last night from Johns Hopkins. Appallo as an institution likes to see what are the best practices globally, and we're doing it constantly. One of the areas of focus which, Chairman has been telling us is the molecular tumor boards, which means that, when we do the genomic studies for molecular pathology, we compare it with what is happening with global institutions. And for each one of the cancer diseases, especially the main ones and some of the rare cancers, there's a whole clinical pathway. And once we do it here, we can always compare, take a second opinion service and do it with some of the best institutions globally. And that is something which the genomics division, the molecular biology division of this laboratory will take up and start doing it as of, today itself, if we can.
Madam, just a macro level question. If you take any sector, the market leader generally drives transformation, modernization. Being a leader in this category, we're talking locally about, preventive healthcare and all. What kind of transformation do you expect to drive with this kind of modern, facilities in the diagnostic space, which is highly, I believe, fragmented in the country? What do you think, the kind of transformation we may see in the coming months with such kind of a modern, facilities in diagnosis area?
So that's a fantastic question. Thank you so much. I think it's a very well-known fact that about 80% of laboratory diagnostics are in small labs and not in the organized sector. There is a move towards centralization, and interestingly, in the United States, there are only 3 large laboratories. So everything goes to these large, and everyone has small machines doing stat tests. So point of care testing is one trend which will increase. Centralization into large laboratories is one more trend which we are seeing. I think a more important trend is the discovery of biomarkers by the combination of the data which is available and the presentation layer. In this, I must say that Appallo is uniquely positioned with our clinical data, with our biobank, and the samples and specimens we have. So we will be working on accelerating the discovery of bioassay. We've also spoken to Roche about doing more work in applications of AI. I think the other large trend is that customers are becoming more aware, healthy individuals. They're 25-year-olds who are saying, I want to understand my vitamin deficiency, I want to understand my lipid presentation. They know that, the heart attack that you have at 25 years old. And they understand and they want scientific proof. So I think customer centricity, centralization, more research, innovation, larger enterprise, and more point of care testing are the large trends that we're seeing in the diagnostic space. Anyone wants to add anything to this? Please.
I think Ms. Preeta stressed the importance of cancer genomics, and I think one of the things that we know, especially in tumor genomics, is that today we are extrapolating a lot of knowledge from Western literature, and this is becoming increasingly important because precision oncology treatment is based on the mutations that are in the cancer. But we need data for our population, and the cancers that we see are somewhat different from the populations that we see in the West. Also, what we know is that the response to treatment and also the complications are different in our population depending upon the mutation. So I think Appallo is uniquely positioned now because we have the combination of a centralized laboratory, the ability to analyze the data, but also collect data from and samples from Guwahati to Kochi and everything in between, right? It's a wide population base that we cover. So I think this is a start of a tremendous capability that we will bring in to understand cancer biology, and how our population responds to treatment.
Thank you, Madhu. And in this, I also want to add that it's besides the cancer treatment, it's the appropriateness of reference ranges. 2 years ago, one of our teams brought out a very seminal study on the prostrate values. Our clinicians across India were using the global reference norms for prostrate, but actually the sensitivity level is lower, and therefore even when they needed to adjust the reporting as well as the trigger markers for prostrate sensitivity in the PSA testing. So this happens when you're collating large amounts of data across the country, like Madhu said, and then we share this in literature and papers with the rest of the country also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all very much. We'll have a last statement from Chairman, closing statement.